Welcome to the second part of the Language Project Stories and Reading series. How we are going to make them interactive and interesting to our students. Our students in our older grades are going to have a copy of the story in front of them. The teacher is not holding up a set of cards or just flashing a set up on the screen. We are reading for a one-time usage. We want to get all the comprehension, all the usage we possibly can out of this one reading. Older students do not like the repetition, reading the same thing over and over. They crave novelty, but we're going to develop repetitions and comprehension through questions and answers, circling, making it interesting, and personalizing those stories so that they can become a part of the actual reading. Anytime a student is laughing with you, the language is just going straight into their brain and they're not thinking about the language. That is the difference between acquisition and learning. When we are doing these readings, we want to develop our comprehension. Please keep in mind, comprehension is not automatic. Even if we have cognates, palabras afines, it doesn't mean that our students are automatically going to understand them. It is up to us to give them the tools that they need and to teach them how to use those tools. We're going to go through the reading with them, one or two sentences at a time. We're going to ask comprehension check questions to make sure that they are following along and they know what's going on with the story. We're going to use all of our question types. We're going to use yes/no questions. We're going to use either or questions, and we're going to use general questions as well. Let's do a comprehension check example for middle school. The first things we do is we ask students about what they see. And if you notice, these pictures happen to be numbered because kids come to Spanish class knowing their numbers. They don't know their letters yet. Let's start. Clase, ¿qué ven ustedes aquí en número 1? Sí, hay una chica. Esto no es un gallo, no, ¿qué es? Es un pato, sí, excelente, es un pato. El número 2, ¿qué ven? Es la chica y el pato. ¿Y dónde están? Están en las montañas, están en el césped o en el lago. Ajá, están en un lago, excelente. El número 3, ¿dónde están? Están enfrente o detrás. Enfrente de unos arbustos. ¿Y qué intenta hacer la chica? Volar. ¿Qué piensan ustedes? ¿Piensan que ella sí puede volar o no puede volar? Entonces, estamos aquí en la primera línea. Pon tu dedo en la primera palabra y sigue conmigo. Isabela tiene un pato. ¿Cómo se llama la chica? La chica se llama, Isabela. ¿Y qué tiene Isabela? Un pato. Excelente. Isabela tiene un pato. Se llama Paco Pato. ¿La chica se llama Paco Pato? No, ¿quién se llama Paco Pato? El pato, claro, excelente. Son amigos, excelente. Isabela nada en el lago con Paco. Mira, número 2. Aquí, ellos nadan en el lago o corren. Nadan, sí, nadan en el lago, excelente. Se sienta enfrente del arbusto con Paco. Aquí están. ¿Enfrente o detrás del arbusto? Enfrente del arbusto. Excelente. Okay, what did you guys notice about the comprehension check questions? They were short and they were simple. ¿Cómo se llama la chica? ¿Se llama Pamela? Se llama Lady Gaga, se llama Lady Gaga, o Isabela. They were very simple questions all the way through. I didn't just do it in the first sentence. I did it for all of the sentences. Lots of them. Lots and lots of questions, lots and lots of repetition. I can use these questions first to tell if my students are understanding the story. And secondly, to develop repetitions. Meaningful repetitions help the students understand by heart. They help them to acquire language versus just learn it and then forget about it. We can also personalize the stories so that students enjoy them more. We can ask them ask them questions to help them relate to the story. We can ask the class a question. We can ask individuals questions. The most interesting and funny responses, those are probably the ones that we're going to use to develop our meaningful repetitions, because the students are going to find them most interesting. Let's do an example, a personalized questions for the story. Isabela tiene un pato. ¿Quiénes tienen un pato? ¿Nadie tiene un pato? ¿Quiénes tienen un animal? Oh, Jessica, ¿cuál animal tienes? Tienes 4 gatos, ¿cómo se llaman? ¿Quiénes más tienen animales? Michael, ¿cuál tipo de animal tienes tú? ¿Tú tienes una serpiente? ¿Cómo es la serpiente? ¿Es grande o pequeña? Es grande. ¿Y de qué color o cuáles colores es? What did you notice about the personalization questions? I asked students something that they could relate to. Who has animals? Who doesn't? What kind of animals do you have? What colors are they? What are their names? Now we have to go back and we have to ask the class. And then you can talk about anybody else whose animal is weird or funny or gets the kids' attention. But this gets you tons of repetitions without the kids thinking about it, without you having to think about it very much, and they go straight into their minds. They don't have to stop and think about it. They're interested. The language goes straight in. How do we make these stories interesting, novel, or funny? Making them personal is going to make them interesting. But how else can we make them interesting for the students? We can relate them to something that the students are interested to. We can ask them unexpected questions that they might not have thought was going to come up. And we can ask downright funny questions if we want to. Let's do an example. Isabel nada en el lago con Paco. No biggie. It doesn't seem like a very interesting sentence, but let's do this. Isabela nada en el lago con Paco. Chicos, ¿dónde nada Isabela y con Paco? En un lago. ¿Y dónde está el lago? ¿Está en un parque? No, no está en un parque. ¿Está en el océano Atlántico? Ellos nadan en el océano Atlántico. Ellos nadan en la sopa de la cafetería hoy. Me parece que la sopa hoy es chicken noodle. Es un buen lugar para nadar. ¿A quién le gusta nadar en sopa de chicken noodle? Ya casi todos les gusta nadar en sopa. Pero ellos nadan en sopa. Our questions are going to engage our students based on very different level, other than just fact-based questions, like ¿nadan Isabel y Paco en frente de la escuela? No nadan en frente de la escuela. ¿Nadan en la sopa de la cafetería? ¿Nadan en el océano Pacífico? Ok. Si me dicen el lago, ellos nadan en el lago. ¿Cómo se llama el lago? Lake Bernstein. Oh, Lake Bernstein. What did you notice about the types, questions that we used to get interest or to get something novel or to make it funny? We introduced silly things like, are they swimming in the cafeteria soap? If they're swimming in a lake, tell me where that lake is. When we start talking about the types of readings that we do with our older students, our introductories are normally silly stories like the one we just did an example of. That was level 1, unit 1. That is the very first story that they see. We want them to be very low anxiety. We want them to be fun, and we want them to be confidence building, like, yeah, I can do this. I came to Spanish and I didn't think I could do this at all. And as they progress through the levels, there are 6 middle school levels. They go on and they have cultural readings that are related to the unit themes. We can expose our students to cultural norms in other places. And at the very end of the series, there is a graphic novel that takes place over 2 levels. That's 6 units. And graphic novels can be very fun and engaging. They can have multiple chapters, they can have multiple lessons, and advanced levels go across units and levels. And they kind of bring everything together. It's a way to grab back to the older stuff and bring it in with the brand new things that they are learning. This is what middle school New Discoveries Level 2, Unit 1, Lesson 3 looks like. We do comprehension check questions, we do personalization questions, and we do questions that make things interesting and novel for them. Martes 13, día de mala suerte. Chicos, mira abajo. ¿Qué es mala suerte? Bad luck. Sí. Martes 13 es día de mala suerte. En inglés, ¿cuál día es mala suerte? El viernes 13 es día de mala suerte. Vamos a leer un poco, ¿ok? Leen conmigo aquí. Una mañana, María José grita, mamá, me duele el estómago, no puedo ir a la escuela. Chicos, María José habla en voz suave, en un susurro, o grita. Sí, ella grita. ¿Con quién ella habla? Con su mamá. Oh, ¿y qué es su problema? Sí, le duele el estómago y por eso no puede ir a McDonald's. ¿Cómo? No es McDonald's. ¿No puede ir a Walmart? ¿A la escuela? Oh, tengo que leer. Mamá, me duele el estómago, no puedo ir a la escuela. Ustedes tienen razón. La madre de María José le tocó la cabeza y le dice, ¿no tienes fiebre, una temperatura? ¿Te duele la cabeza? No, mami, no me duele la cabeza. Abre la boca. ¿Qué le duele a María José? El estómago. ¿Le duele la cabeza? No. ¿Tiene un fiebre? No. María José inhala por la nariz sin problemas. Su madre le dice, vas a la escuela. Pero mami, me duele el estómago. No quiero ir a la escuela. No tienes fiebre, no vomitas y puedes respirar. Vas a la escuela. En la escuela, Samantha mira a María José y le pregunta, ¿qué te pasa? Tengo un examen de matemáticas hoy y no estoy preparada. ¡Qué lástima! Estoy bien preparada. Entonces, chicos, ¿por qué no quería ir a la escuela, María José? Tiene un examen en la clase de matemáticas. Excelente. Y sigue así. This is an example of what our graphic novels look like. We read along with the students. We stop every phrase or so, and we ask questions using the pictures using the words. The narration is here. What the students say is in the speech bubbles. You can see this is a new Discovery 5 Unit 1, and this is where Las Aventuras de Gaby begin. And Gaby ends up becoming an exchange student and goes on the adventure of a lifetime and comes back to tell her friends about it. Well, in between, she has to convince her parents, go on a long and arduous journey, meet her family, and have many, many adventures with them. Remember, TLP stories and readings bring language and culture together for our students. We get our kids engaged through comprehension checks, by personalization, and keeping things interesting, novel, and fun. Please remember, stories are one of the foundational elements in the language projects, stories, and readings in all levels.